Hello and welcome to another video lesson on equations. Today we are going to continue our work with equations, specifically two-step equations, continuing to use those properties of equality and inverse operations. So far in class we have worked on equations with fractions, decimals, we have worked on combining like terms and distributive property, and now we are going to continue on today with word problems. So, some things that I want to remember about equations before I dive into my word problems. Okay? Equations. When I think about solving an equation, my main goal is to isolate the variable. That is the entire reason behind everything that I do with equations. My entire goal is to isolate the variable so that I can determine x equals 3 or y equals 5 or whatever values it might be. So my entire goal is to create equivalent equations by doing the same thing on both sides to isolate the variable, which brings me to my next point. I need to keep my equations balanced and what I mean by that is whatever I do on one side, I must do on the other. So if on the left side I am adding 3, I also need to add 3 on the right side to maintain that equivalency as I simplify and solve my equations. Okay? And today specifically, like I mentioned, we are going to be focusing on word problems. So how do I approach word problems? What should I do to tackle those? So some things that I like to think about. First of all, what is the question asking? Okay. I like to think about what is the question asking me? What am I trying to find? Am I trying to find how much money it was to pay for somebody's meal? Am I trying to find the number of leftover books after a sale? Am I trying to find any kind of thing? And the reason that helps me, it keeps me focused on what I'm trying to do and also helps me know how to label my answer and reflect at the end as well. Something else that is good to do as I read is annotate. So taking notes in the problem as I read. So circling, underlining, highlighting if I have a highlighter, things that are important in the word problem. And I even like to cross out things that I know are extra information. We know in math most times numbers are important. However, sometimes they give us extra numbers to mess us up. So crossing out and circling and underlining and highlighting are all part of that annotating process. Okay? In step 3, I like to use those annotations to actually set up and solve whatever the question is asking me to do. And then in step number 4, I like to check or kind of reflect on my answer. Okay, so I want to keep those things in mind. What is the question asking me? How can I annotate to help myself with the problem? Set it up and solve it, and then check and reflect on my answer. So let's go ahead and get started on the first word problem here. Martha takes her niece and nephew to a concert. She buys t-shirts and bumper stickers for them. The bumper stickers cost $1 each. Martha's niece wants 1 shirt and 4 bumper stickers, and her nephew wants 2 shirts but no bumper stickers. If Martha's total is $67, what is the cost of 1 shirt? So the first thing, what's the question asking me? I know that by the end of me solving this problem, I am supposed to know how much it costs to buy 1 shirt at this concert. Okay, 1 shirt. So I want to keep that in mind as my focus, as my end goal. I am looking for the cost of a shirt. I'm going to actually go back and reread the problem again and think about what can I annotate, what's important, what's not important. Okay? Martha takes her niece and nephew to the concert. There's nothing really in there that's going to help me solve the problem. She buys t-shirts and bumper stickers for her niece and nephew. Again, not a whole lot in there. The only thing from that sentence that I just crossed off, I might be thinking about the cost of the shirts, the cost of the bumper stickers added together, especially with the word total down here. But I'm going to keep going for more details. The bumper stickers cost $1 each. That is going to be important for me to remember that bumper stickers cost $1. Martha's niece wants 1 shirt and 4 bumper stickers. Her nephew wants 2 shirts and no bumper stickers. So already at that point, I'm thinking 1 shirt, 4 bumper stickers. 2 shirts, no bumper stickers. So I'm already thinking 1 shirt, and I'm going to write S for shirt, plus 4 bumper stickers. And that is simply representing what Martha's niece wants. I also need to account for what Martha's nephew wants. The nephew wants 2 shirts, but no bumper stickers. So I do not need to include the bumper stickers because he doesn't want any. I know that when I take all of those things added together, added because of total, it's going to equal $67 that she spent at this concert. Now I know I have more than one variable, and that is not what we are learning how to solve right now, but this is simply a way to help me set up and visualize what I am solving for. Okay? I had S for shirt, and I had B for the bumper sticker. Okay, so as I continue, I see that the bumper stickers cost $1 each. So I'm going to go ahead and substitute the $1 each for the bumper sticker cost. So 1 shirt plus 4 bumper stickers, which I know cost $1 each now, plus 2 more shirts equals $67. I see a couple things here. I see that 4 times 1 is going to be 4, so that's not really going to change. But I also see that 1S plus 2S, 1 shirt for the niece and 2 shirts for the nephew, tells me that I am buying 3 shirts total, equals $67. So $4 for the 4 bumper stickers, plus the total cost for the 3 shirts, which I don't know yet, is going to altogether be $67. So now I'm going to solve it like an equation. Minus 4 from both sides, remembering that whatever I do to one side, I must also do to the other. And I am sorry, but I am going to have to move over here to the right. 4 minus 4 cancels, so I have 3S. And 67 minus 4 is going to give me 63. So I'm going to continue on here, and now 3 times the cost of a shirt equals $63. So I'm going to divide by 3 to identify the cost of 1 shirt as asked in my problem. And I do 3 divided by 3 is 1, so I have plain old S, or the cost of 1 shirt. And then 63 divided by 3, which gives me 21. And I do want to be sure to label it. $21 is the cost per shirt. Okay. All right, let's take a look at another word problem, see if we can get the hang of this here, and then I will let you try one on your own. Jillian and Tyson are shopping for knitting supplies. Jillian wants 3 balls of yarn and 1 set of knitting needles. Tyson wants 1 ball of yarn and 2 sets of knitting needles. Each ball of yarn costs $6.25. Their total is $34.60. What's the cost of 1 set of knitting needles? So once again, starting off with my question. By the end, I need to know how much does it cost to buy 1 set of knitting needles. So as I look at this, don't see anything important in the first sentence. Yeah, they're going shopping. It's context, but to actually solve the problem, I do not need it. Jillian wants 3 balls of yarn, so I'm going to use the letter Y for yarn. And later on I also see knitting needles, so I'm going to use K for the needles because they're knitting needles. So Jillian wants 3 balls of yarn, so for Jillian 3 yarn plus 1 K, or plain old K if you prefer that, plus whatever Tyson wants. Tyson wants 1 ball of yarn, 1 Y, and 2 sets of knitting needles. And I know that when I add it all together, eventually my total cost is $34.60. Now, at this point, I have not substituted in yet how much the ball of each each ball of yarn costs. However, as I look at this equation, first of all, I do see two variables, which I just mentioned we will fix in a moment, but I do also see some things that I can put together. I see that with Jillian's 3 balls of yarn and Tyson's 1, that we have a total of 4 balls of yarn, plus Jillian's 1 set of knitting needles and Tyson's 2 sets, we have a total of 3 sets of knitting needles equals $34.60. I see then in my problem right here that each ball of yarn is $6.25, so I'm going to substitute that in for Y. 4 times $6.25 plus 3K equals $34.60. Okay. So I'm going to start by simplifying this. 4 times $6.25. So I'm going to do $6.25 times 4. 5 times 4 is 20. 8, 9, 10, 6, 12, 18, 24, 25. 2 decimal places, so this is 25 plus 3K equals $34.60. I need to subtract 25 from both sides. Again, doing whatever I do to one side, also do it to the other. These cancel and I end up with 3K. And then I do $34.60 minus 25. So over here, 0 minus 0 is 0. 6 minus 0 is 6. I have to borrow. 14 minus 5 is 9, and 2 minus 2 is 0. So I end up with 3K equals $9.60. Dividing by 3 to determine that each set of knitting needles is $3.20. All right, please take a look at this word problem. I would like you to please pause the video and try this problem for yourself. When you are done and are ready to check your answer, please resume or press play on your video to check your work. All right, welcome back. As we do this, I am going to move a little bit faster because you should already have this done. Noah and Katie are shopping for new guitar strings. Nothing needed from the first sentence. Noah buys 2 packs of strings. 2 packs of strings for Noah. Katie buys 2 packs of strings plus a book. B for book. P is packs. B is book. I do want to remember that as I set up these word problems, it is always a good idea to write down the variable and what it stands for. And in fact, later on this year, we will be a little bit more picky about that, especially because they give you points for doing that on iStep. All right, so as we continue forward here, 2 packs of books, or packs of strings, I'm sorry, for Noah, plus 2 packs of strings for Katie and her book. Does tell me that the book costs $16, so I will substitute that in, and that the total is $72. The 2 packs of strings each is 4 total, plus the book cost of $16 equals 72, minus 16 from both sides. 4P is going to equal 56. And then I divide by 4 to determine that each pack of strings costs $14. Okay. All right, at this time, we have finished our work with 2-step equations, which means we will be moving on to multi-step here in the coming days. We have done fractions, we've done decimals, we've done combining like terms, distributive property, and then today we tackled word problems. So at this time, please show your notes paper to the teacher to verify that you have completed it, and at that point you will receive your practice. Please try the best you can, and it is due by Friday.